And we're learning HTML. Great. In this session, we'll cover some more of HTML elements, and let's start with something more important called as title. All HTML pages should have a page title. As you noticed, I have something called as a title and a head. Those are two new elements that are there, the head tag and the title tag. And see how both of them close. All right, in between head, there's a title element, and the title tag closes before the head closes. The head element um, appears before the body element and contains information about the page. The information in the head element does not appear in the browser window. Let's take a look at that. So what did we just do? We added a title, and notice where the title comes in right here at the top. And this title helps in, if let's say someone adds a bookmark, bookmark gets saved in the name of this title you've provided. And this is not rendered on the body, but on the tab of that browser or wherever your page is being indexed. It's indexed using a title. So it's very important that you have a title. And yeah, the text that we put in between the title tags has become the title of this document. So if you were to add this page to, like we said, bookmarks or favorites, you could see that the title is also used there. So I'll leave that as an example. You just have, you have to click on this button, and then your title is automatically appeared here. And that's the magic we're talking about. All right, moving on. Let me add some more elements since we're talking about elements and tags. Let's discover some of those. And to start with, I'm going to talk about the paragraph. We saw it in the previous session. So I'm going to remove this, and let's keep it simple. So we've got a basic structure of an HTML that we need to have a doc type, a head, a HTML, and a body, and a title inside of the head. Great. So let's start about. Let me start with something called with a paragraph. Okay. So I want to, let's say, make something inside of my body without anything. Okay, I'm just going to type something. This is so exciting. And then let's see how that comes. Let's see how that appears. I don't have any control over how that comes. Now, if I type this something, let's say, I'm going to type, let's say, this is, oops, this is my first web page. Now, take a look at this. Although I am typing it here, it's not appearing in the right sense. This is because web browsers don't usually take any notice of what line you're coding on. It also doesn't take of any spaces that is in fact, and you would get the same result if you typed, let's say I'm going to add a lot of spaces. If you think, oh, you know what, there isn't any space, but I'm going to add a lot of spaces here, as you can see, but there isn't anything happening here because the space is being ignored by the browser. So if you want the text to appear in different lines, or rather if you intend there to be two distinct blocks of text, because we know that HTML is not about presentation, it's more so about the structure. So we need to explicitly state that structure. So I'm going to add the paragraph element to this content that we just typed. Oops, and I'm going to paste this, and then I'm going to put another in the similar fashion, and then see how it all appears here on our web page. So that's how it is, and now I can control whatever I want. So for example, I can put in something here, and inside of this I give it as many spaces I want, and then a full stop, and that's ignored as well, but I can type anything. So the spaces are ignored. How do we deal with this? What do I do if I want to emphasize a particular text? If I have to make something bold, for example, there is a tag called emphasize. Now this word will make the one that we want to be highlighted as italic, right? And if I have to, let's say, make it bold and italic, or let's just make it simple. I'm just going to type this strong, and then it becomes bold, right? So traditionally EM is for italics and strong and bold by default. And there is another thing that we want to talk about, which does not have an end tag. There are certain elements that don't have an end tag. They're called self-closing. And now this is a line break. This element is called a line break. I'm going to add a couple of more, and the more I add, I'm creating these line breaks. And there is no content involved in breaking lines, and hence there is no closing tag. So it's also tempting to overuse a lot of line breaks, but it's usually you make sure you are live previewing it as you type, and so you're always in control. Let's also discover some more tags like H1. There's also a H2 tag, and there's also a H3 all the way to H6. As an assignment, I'd like to ask or request you all to try this out from all the way and type in some things and see how it goes. Okay, and I'm going to type all the way to, let's say, H6. Oops, I did not notice that. And here we are. So I'm going to pause a bit, and I'd like you to fill in the H2 elements, and then let me know how it goes. All the way, fill it all the way to H6. Okay, so I guess you have tried that. So now I'm going to fill these up. So this is my second heading, and I'm just going to make it, because I'm lazy, I'm going to copy paste all of this and just change this to third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Now let's see how that's coming up here. There you go. So you can notice that there are some default font sizing that is there, and the browsers understand them, and this is all the way up to the 6th. So I'm going to remove this so we can avoid any sort of confusion. Let's put this at the top. So this is how it's all coming up. All right. Next up, we'll discover some more exciting HTML elements, and see you in the next session. Thanks for watching.